Did Steve Harvey make Lori Harvey date Diddy? What's up with that?
Of course.
That's the alcohol that's halfway open. Some bottles are cracked, glasses are cracked. There's baby oil everywhere on the floors in the bathroom. There's lube everywhere, half open, some of it oozing off the sides. And you have to get all that stuff, clean it up. Luckily, I would wear even a mask and I would wear gloves, because it was disgusting.
Yeah, so like me and my man Snoop was saying, y'all, there ain't no East Coast, West Coast beef.
I swear. We ain't coming to talk about nothing behind us. We come to talk about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
We here to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we want y'all to stay in school and keep y'all heads in y'all books.
No doubt, knowledge is power, y'all.
What's the number one thing that's going on? Lori Harvey thinks she's playing men, but she's actually getting played. What is going on, guys? So her father, Steve Harvey, you guys know who he is.
Did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that, like now, okay. You know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion that, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. You know, we grown now. If he wanna be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this individual.
Snoop Dogg has stirred up a storm with shocking claims that he witnessed how Steve Harvey allegedly used his daughter, Lori, to get closer to Diddy. The words being echoed online are heavy. Snoop supposedly revealed that Steve pimped out Lori, connecting her to one of the most controversial figures in the music industry. This is not a small rumor. Steve Harvey has spent years shaping his public image as a family-first man, someone who gives relationship advice, writes books about love, and preaches about morals on television. To hear his name attached to this type of story throws a shadow over everything he has built. And for Lori Harvey, who has already lived in the spotlight for her relationships with high-profile men, the claims bring a whole new wave of judgment. But the story does not stop there. It links to whispers of a secret tape involving Snoop Dogg and Diddy, a lawyer's supposed confirmation of its existence, and even an insider's claim of holding Kim Porter's unpublished memoir. This creates a messy web of rumors that touch on loyalty, betrayal, and hidden power inside the entertainment business.
Check out this audio from Suge Knight. It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, Tupac and Snoop being cool and how, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, he also speaks on how, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. It's downloading right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs with Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs with Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, old this motherfucker, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these are dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, Puff? Hey, whoa. Wait a minute, fellas here. Hold up. I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my peoples.
For real, that's what we came here for. We came here to light it up and ride it up. We make music in hands.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfucker that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that, like now, okay. You know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion that, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. We grown now. If he wanna be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this individual.
When Snoop Dogg allegedly said he saw Steve Harvey allow Lori to be connected to Diddy. It sent shockwaves across social media. Snoop is not just another gossip voice. He is someone who has been inside the rooms where deals are made, where alliances are tested, and where secrets are kept. Fans reacted strongly because Snoop carries credibility in this kind of conversation. He has survived in the industry for over 3 decades. He has been linked to Death Row Records, to Suge Knight, to Dr. Dre, to Pharrell, and even crossed into mainstream entertainment. If he says he witnessed something, people lean in to listen. For Steve Harvey, the allegation is damaging, even without proof. A man who built his name around family and love now finds himself accused of failing to protect his own daughter's image. That is why the topic gained traction so quickly.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't agree with him, you probably could have said, you know what, I probably ain't gonna come out, publicly with this because until things clear up, so I really know I could be certain that, they didn't have nothing to do with Pop. But it's like, it was no, okay, it is what it is. So that I never really respected that back then.
So you had an issue with it. You didn't like it.
Never really liked it. It just was a strange look because you was Pac boy. You know what I mean? Puffy, it's clear they had some issues with Pac. And Pac died, and all of a sudden you chilling with Puffy. Back then it just, okay, now you can say what you want. You all grandfathers, I guess. You know what I mean? That's different now. But back then I think it was weird. It was tasteless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you really had that much love for Pac. You could have just, you know what I mean? Unless he pressured them or like questioned Puffy, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Then you could say, you know what I mean? No problem. Like somebody said, okay, I believe somebody mentioned that they seen a video with me and the dude Prodigy or one of the dudes from My Deep, as if I was with. They don't know the backdrop of that. I went to his hotel room ready to fight. Like, bro, I'll fight everybody in that room one-on-one. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. The Outlaws was with me. My homie Tiny, the Mexican homie, was with me. I didn't go there and say, let me get in a video with these guys. I went there knocking on their door, doom, doom, doom. Tell them dudes to come out. What's up with y'all? What's up with you and Pac? You got a problem with Pac? Because we could just fight like man to man, face to face, and then shake hands. That was my approach with them. But when they told me they didn't have no problem, I don't mind being with you. You know what I mean? I don't mind shaking your hand because they told me they had love for Pac. So that's different. You know what I mean? If he come out and say, well, I already, I questioned Puffy about it. I believe that he didn't, he loved Pac. That's my opinion. I can move the way I want to move. So when people try to, I noticed somebody, I think on your page do that. Well, Napoleon was in the video with Mobb Deep. They don't know how I got in that video with Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? I pulled up on him but I'm the type of person, I never been a bully type of person. You know what I mean? If I talk to a person like a man and they tell me face to face, look, I got love for Pac, I'm comfortable to know if I can look in their eyes, if I believe what they said, I have the right to say, okay, no problem, I believe you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what Snoop went through, I don't know. But let the people know because it was too early back then. Pac just had died. You know what I mean? Like he had the right to say, the reason why I'm rolling with Puffy, I questioned him about my homie, he gave me this answer. So then he did what he had to do, but it just, you know what I mean? I never really agree with that, to be honest. The same way I couldn't be on the stage with him. When they wanted to do that tribute, I just couldn't do it. Like, I really felt in my heart, like, man, I can't believe this is about to happen. Like, are we really gonna be, I just couldn't do it, you know what I mean? And thank God it didn't happen, alhamdulillah.
Around the same time, another rumor surfaced. An alleged lawyer came forward claiming that a tape involving Diddy and an A-list celebrity had been sold. The lawyer did not directly name Snoop, but the whispers online strongly point to him. According to insiders, this was not the only tape. Multiple recordings exist, supposedly showing Diddy with other Hollywood men. And then came the shocking twist. The insider also claimed to hold Kim Porter's real memoir, with details that never reached the public. Fans quickly connected the dots. If Diddy really kept tapes of his associates, it could mean he was building leverage, a kind of insurance policy to keep people around him under control. And if Snoop's name is connected, that would explain both his long friendship with Diddy and also the sudden tension now surfacing.
Oh, before.
Yeah, so what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits. We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him,
All they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring them in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his freak-offs, they're gonna pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think it's any celebrities on those tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Some fans refuse to believe it, saying it sounds too outrageous. Others point out that in Hollywood, truth often sounds stranger than fiction. This is where Snoop's past comes back to haunt him. To casual fans, Snoop Dogg is the fun uncle of hip-hop. He smokes weed, tells jokes, and pops up in movies and commercials. But to insiders, Snoop carries a different image. During the death row era, Suge Knight accused Snoop of being a snitch. He hinted that Snoop was allowed to walk free from situations that could have ended careers or even lives because he was cooperating with people behind the scenes. These claims have never gone away. Every time a new controversy touches Snoop, people dig them up again. And now, when rumors connect him to Diddy in compromising ways, those old accusations gain new weight. It paints Snoop as someone who may not just be a survivor, but someone who plays a bigger game than most of his peers. That is why the internet is split. Is he exposing the truth about Steve Harvey and Diddy, or is he redirecting attention away from himself?
So now the story is that Steve Harvey and Diddy have been in a relationship for the past 25 years. And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, maybe. Okay, I'm not ruling anything out at this point, but there have been a lot of rumors, a lot of things that, maybe haven't been true, not proven yet. So let me give Steve the benefit of the doubt before I'm just gonna jump to conclusions. And I haven't really been able to find anything about it. And somebody just posted a video, I'm gonna tag them below. And it's all of the episodes of shows that Steve Harvey has, been on, where he talks in detail about baby oil. And the video if you click the link, you'll see all of this, but I'll just tell you a little bit, a snippet of it. He says in one episode that his hidden talents really can't be discussed on national television because it involves excessive amounts of baby oil, no lights, and moaning. And then in another one, he coined himself as a baby oil professional and said that he has a microwave that he has installed in his bedroom because he enjoys hot baby oil, and then gave the audience of the show 2 other ways to heat up their baby oil.
The biggest shock in this story is Steve Harvey's involvement. According to the alleged claims, Snoop said Steve Harvey played a role in Lori being linked with Diddy.
I got one more thing to say, and I'm gonna try to make myself go to sleep. Everybody's talking about all the girls that Puff Daddy was with, but y'all did not mention Lori Harvey. He was with her for a hot second, remember? They had a picture of them out at some, I don't know, looked like they was out the country. They had matching outfits. It was like these navy blue and white striped pants, and I forgot what top they had. And they was holding hands. And Steve Harvey was with them, I think. But y'all ain't said nothing about Lori Harvey. So she, did she know about those type of activities? Maybe that's why it didn't last. We never know. But we need to ask her some questions too. Don't leave her out. Plus she dating my man, Franklin, from Snowfall. And I don't like it. Okay, bye.
For Steve, this is devastating, even as just a rumor. He has built a second career beyond comedy and television, selling books on relationships, telling women how to value themselves, and positioning himself as a moral leader in pop culture. To suggest that he would use his own daughter's image as a bargaining chip tears down that entire brand. Lori Harvey has always been a trending topic for her romantic life. She has been linked to athletes, rappers, and actors. But the connection to Diddy raised eyebrows from the very beginning, given their age difference, and the strange fact that Lori was also once tied to Diddy's son.
Now, Lori, her story is unique in the sense that her mother went on Steve Harvey's show in 2015 to give her some advice about dating. Here's what she told her. No athletes, no rappers. We're gonna go down the list. Don't ever try to fit in when God clearly created you to stand out. Always be a lady and understand you are the prize. Don't give yourself to anybody that is not going to be your husband. If they love you, if they really care about you, they'll wait on you. Marjorie added that she and Steve drilled this message of carrying themselves like a lady into all of their daughters. Now, fast forward to 2019, and the 22-year-old Lori appears to have done everything except what she was directed to do by her parents. Now, here's what people are tripping out on. They're tripping out on the frequency in which she's being cited with all of these different dudes. She was engaged to a guy who was a soccer player back in 2017. After exiting her relationship with Trey Songz, she was spotted making out with British Formula One race car driver Lewis Hamilton at the club. But then came the Atlanta Super Bowl party hosted by Diddy, Future, and Jeezy, where Laura attended and she was seen with these different guys. And so people went in on her. A number of people went in on her, saying that the apple don't fall far from the tree. Look at her mother. You know what kind of background she has. How is she going to give advice to her daughter and think that her daughter is going to respect that advice when she dated all type of cats for various reasons? Now, I want to touch on that. See, I could easily go in on her because I don't like her daddy. But I don't think that the child should have to suffer for the father's sins. They say the sins of the father. The child shouldn't have to suffer for the sins of the father. What are Steve Harvey's sins? His ass should be in jail for giving bad advice to millions of women around the world. I told women over and over again. Stop listening to that dude. He don't give good advice, because look at his relationships that he have. Obviously, he's doing something wrong, but you're listening to a guy give advice who has a horrible track record with women. Don't make any sense. Even his own daughter wouldn't read his book. If she did, she didn't respect it because she did something totally different. Children don't learn from words. They learn from example. You can't go out there and aspire to be the big time drug dealer, tell your son don't sell drugs, and be surprised when he sells drugs and get his head knocked off. Likewise, excuse my French and pardon my vernacular, you can't be a hoe, tell your daughter not to be a hoe, and be surprised when she turn out to be a hoe. Not saying that Lori is that. We don't know what her situation is. We don't know if she letting dudes smash or not. By the way, smashing and dating is two different things.
Now with Snoop's supposed revelation, people are asking whether that relationship was natural or influenced. If her own father was steering her in that direction, it changes how people look at both of them. At the center of everything is Diddy. His name has appeared in countless scandals over the years, and now, with serious legal troubles, every new allegation adds pressure. The idea that Diddy collected tapes of celebrities is not new. Rumors of him hosting wild parties, recording his guests, and using the footage for control have floated for years. With the current wave of lawsuits and investigations, people are now more willing to believe those old whispers.
Did Steve Harvey make Lori Harvey date Diddy? What's up with that?
Of course. And allegedly, Mary Harvey has said so. Steve Harvey also has a very inappropriate relationship with the diddler. And the truth is, a lot of these older men push their daughters to hook up with their celebrity friends so that they can keep the favor machine going. I just don't know, with the way Diddy rock, like, how do you share with your daughter, you know? Like, they share that experience now? Well, what'd he do to you, baby? Like, what? This nigga's wild. You heard about what he did in the Macy's room to the Echo clothing?
If Snoop's name is tied to one of those tapes, it puts him in a dangerous position. Does he stay loyal to Diddy, or does he distance himself and reveal what he knows? By pointing at Steve Harvey and Lori, Snoop may be signaling that he is ready to let others take the heat. The mention of secret societies always follows these conversations. Fans believe there are hidden networks in Hollywood where celebrities are forced to prove their loyalty in extreme ways. Suge Knight once hinted that Snoop survived because he was protected by something bigger. That is why some believe Snoop and Diddy are both part of the same hidden circle. The connection to Steve Harvey and Lori suggests that even families can be pulled into the web. Are these theories true? There is no hard evidence, but the more stories that come out, the more fans see patterns that are hard to ignore. Inside hip-hop, loyalty is everything. These rumors could change how Snoop is viewed by his peers. If a tape exists, if he really exposed Steve Harvey, then old alliances could break forever. Fans of Tupac already feel that Snoop betrayed him years ago by switching sides. Adding new scandals only deepens that wound. Meanwhile, business partners may hesitate to work with someone surrounded by this kind of controversy.
Because he knew how, some of the things that, was said about Snoop, that Pac felt about him. And out of all the outlaws, he knew that I'm the one that's not going to be afraid to say it in front of Snoop. So he probably played on that and wanted Snoop to hear it, you know what I mean?
What is some of the other stuff that happened in that meeting, outside of that?
A bunch of people, talked about, I really don't recall because we were so zoned out. And we were so zoned out where I'm like, why are we having a meeting? Pac died and we having a meeting. Like, I thought that was the weirdest stuff ever. You know what I mean? Like, Pac he just died, and what the hell we in a meeting for? Like, what's that gonna do? You know what I mean? So I was zoned out. We were just ready to get out of the meeting, and we was recording though. I think one of the ways that we was able to deal with what we was dealing with, because Suge just gave us free reign to just do how many songs we want. He's like, y'all want to go in the studio, just do whatever y'all want. So every day, instead of just sitting back mourning and drinking, sitting at home, we would go to the studio and just write, and do songs. You know what I mean?
Right. So after Tupac got killed in Vegas, y'all went back to LA. And me reading your book, you said that it was a whole lot of shootings and retaliation going on in LA after Tupac got killed?
In Compton. You know, after Pac got killed, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it probably was at least 10 people that got shot. If I'm not mistaken, 7 to 10 people got shot, a few people died. I think the police had to, they just had to do like a gang sweep where they just start raiding everybody's homes in Compton, and that's what stopped it, kicking everybody's doors and locking people up, taking guns off the street. But it was a little war between the people in Compton, you know, from Suge Hood and the Southside Crips and the Mob Piru and other gangs. It was just it was a war that was going on.
For Steve Harvey, the fallout is even more direct. His brand depends on trust. If even a small group of people believe he used Lori for influence, it could stain his legacy permanently. This story refuses to disappear because it combines scandal, power, and family. You have Snoop Dogg connected to a rumored tape. You have Diddy accused of holding secrets and leverage. You have Kim Porter's name tied to memoirs. And you have Steve Harvey accused of sacrificing his daughter's image for status. Every piece of this puzzle makes the other pieces feel more believable. That is why fans keep discussing it, sharing clips, and debating whether it is real. And until someone comes forward with proof or denial, the speculation will only grow. What we are left with is a tangled web of rumors and allegations. Snoop Dogg has not released evidence. Steve Harvey has not answered the accusations. Lori Harvey has remained silent. And Diddy's separate legal challenges continue to unfold.
You cannot turn a her into a housewife. You cannot relinquish the streets if she still wants to go out and play in them. You cannot do that. I see far too many modern men trying to turn modern women into something that they are not. You must look at the history. You must look at the decisions that they are making. You must look at the type of dudes that they choose to date. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up like my man Michael B. Jordan. Now, in case that you haven't heard, Michael has recently split from Lori Harvey, reportedly because he couldn't get her on the same page. I saw this one coming. Let's get down into the article. TMZ reports Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, Splitsville. Michael B. Jordan wanted long-term relationship. Oh, did you, Michael? That's why this part of the internet is so important. Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey are no more. The couple reportedly broke up, and the early indication is that it might have been her who wasn't on the same page for their future. According to People magazine, them two have ventured into Splitsville. This after more than a year together and power coupling all over Hollywood. There goes that power couple bull. Unclear when they might have gone their separate ways, but neither has posted a photo with the other for months. All right, we got some photos and some video. Okay, whatever. Let's go down up in it. Now, as far as the reasoning behind the reported uncoupling, people citing a source familiar says Michael apparently wanted to get even more serious with Lori than they already were. That means to me that he wanted to get married, as he was apparently seeking to go the distance in a long-term relationship. Marriage? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. There's no clarification or pushback from Lori's perspective, who seems to suggest she just didn't necessarily want the same thing as him. One thing they both reportedly feel, though, heartbroken and continue love for one another, at least according to the outlet. Whatever. Let me tell you guys what's actually going on. One of the greatest issues that us as men have is just succumbing to women because we're so damn visual and we're willing to believe anything that they're willing to say as long as they look so goddamn good while saying it. In other words, else. And I think as men, it's clear that we sometimes ignore the red flags or the writing on the wall because we just want that thing over there so damn much. But in conjunction of all of this happening, you have someone who seems to move from valuable dude to valuable dude. Like, I mean, as far as rap goes, what's above Future, right? As far as black entertaining goes, what man is above Michael B. Jordan? She's had them and she's had them all. And irrespective of all that information regarding her past, valuable men, especially men caught up in the traditional mindset of a Disney fantasy, fall victim to the beauty, fall victim to ignoring the red flags. But here's the question that I have to ask you guys. If high status, high value men cannot get these 10s, these 9s to settle down, what do you think that means for you? If Michael B. Jordan can't get these women to act right, what makes you think that you can?
But the story forces us to look at Hollywood differently. If Snoop really saw Steve Harvey connect Lori to Diddy, then it shows how fame and influence can sometimes come at the cost of family and values. If the tape really exists, it shows how powerful men control each other behind the scenes. And if Kim Porter's memoirs are real, it means even more secrets are waiting to surface. So, let me ask you, do you believe Snoop Dogg truly saw Steve Harvey sacrifice his own daughter's image to gain power with Diddy? Or is this just another case of rumors spiraling out of control on the internet? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.